blessed to have a mother like her. The mothers are always special, but she was unique. She had the ability to connect deeply with anyone of any age and any background. This ability of hers came from her great empathy. She could really understand what people are going through. She was welcoming to all and eager to help everybody in any way she could. And that was her unique feature. Her community service foundation was at her childhood, at hometown, at Jasiti, Bihar, where she grew up. Her father was a freedom fighter and follower of Mahatma Gandhi. During British rule, her father as well as many others went to prison. The result was that many families had no source of income and needed food in the town. Her mom belonged to a resourceful family, service oriented. Her mother prepared packages for each family, counting the number of the people who were living in the household, and gave only basic food in that package. 4 things: rice, lentil, salt, and potatoes. Our mother, who was around 8 years old, and her brother, who was 2 years younger, they were both involved in making the packages and distributing to all these families who were in need in the town, and nobody was left. She married at the age of 15 and went to a small town, Supaul, Bihar. She wanted to go for higher education to a boarding school at a different town, and this was a challenge because at that time the women were not allowed to go to the different town, especially after the wedding, and go to different town for a study. But she was really lucky. Her decision was supported by her husband and her father-in-law. She also took with her 2 other girls from the family, one from her father-in-law home and one her younger sister. So 3 of them went for a study to different towns. This was the first step in her life, long goal of uplifting women. After that, she settled in Patna, Bihar, as our dad started his medical practice. She with our dad together started community services in various ways. She was founder of Akhil Bharatiya Marwadi Mahila Sammelan in 80s. This organization was founded to empower women both socially and economically. Currently, the organization is very active in India with more than 230,000 members. And even in the last year of her life, they used to always call her for her advice, include her in all the programs, and she always guided them. In early 1990s, she and my father decided to move to USA as all 3 their daughters settled here. They knew that in the world of new technology, if they didn't learn how to use computer, they could not serve community at India and USA in the way they wanted to serve. So at the age of 60, my mother, with her husband, she stayed at the Akron University apartments for 2 years and took classes at the Akron University, both of them, and learned the computers. My mom was able to do emails, mail merging, spreadsheets, word processing, and many more. It was much more than what I can do with a computer. She and my dad always worked together and supported each other in the community services. She was very busy but never neglected us and always had time for us. Only thing I can say, she was deeply involved with all three of our kids' raising. With Rita, we were living with her, their home, and she was raised for 4 years by her. With Sonal, she came to help me in the US for 3 months, and then she took him for 6 months to India so I can start my residency. And at the time of Didi, she was here for 6 months to help me raising her. So we were really blessed having her. She was always happy to talk to me about Rotary Club and its services. She acted as active Rotarian for many, many years. As in the beginning of the Rotary Club, women were not allowed to be the members, but she played a very active role as Rotarian. Ma, I promise to continue to be committed to our family and our community that matters most to you.
मैं माँ की सबसे छोटी बेटी शोभा हूँ और मैं भी अपनी फीलिंग इंग्लिश में एक्सप्रेस करने की कोशिश करूँगी ताकि most of the people here can understand. It is simply not possible to express my feelings about you, Ma, in words, but I will try. Sradhanjali gave brief
thing that she did, but I will try to cover some aspect that I feel that you guys also need to know. Today, whatever I am is because of you, Ma, and Babuji, Dr. Mahadev Chand. You have taught us to take care of not only ourselves, but our family, society, country, and the world. You believed in simple living and high thinking. My grandfather, he believed in khadi. This is the cloth, khadi. And when my mother was getting married, she was young, as my sister said. My Nana ji, Gauri Shankar Dalmia ji, who was a freedom fighter and social worker, he wanted my ma to continue khadi after the marriage. And who belongs to Rajasthan, Marwari family, they know very well those days in Marwari family how a bahu can even think about using khadi in the family. But at that young age, she managed. She talked to my father, and my father said, you don't say what I would wear and I won't complain what you wear. And it was a joint family, not only Babuji, her Babuji's Babuji, 2-3 brothers. So it was a very joint family where women has only one word to cook and take care of the children. There she had guts to use this khadi and she used till last. So this is a very good thing that we all women should learn, determination, that what we have believe in, we should try to pursue. Second thing I want to say, when she was studying in Patna, BA, at the same time, she was managing director of Babuji's pathology lab. So she was taking care of us. She was the managing director of the pathology lab and she was trying to fulfill her career. So that's very amazing. She always did all the duties of wife. She always worked hand in hand with my father. Wherever he go for social service, she was always there. So that is also, ये बहुत ही माँ की इम्पोर्टेंट क्वालिटी थी. और जैसा कहते हैं हर पुरुष की सफलता में के पीछे एक स्त्री का हाथ होता है, मैं मानती हूँ बाबूजी की सफलता में माँ का बहुत बड़ा हाथ था. माँ हमेशा समझती थी वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, कभी भी वो अपना परिवार अपना सीमित नहीं था. हम लोगों को वही उन्होंने सिखाया. एंड मैं ऐसा सोचती हूँ कि इफ every woman becomes committed, sincere, simple, soft but firm, with practical knowledge, whole world will be different at this time. And I also, if I can
what I feel right now about our dear mom. She has, her body is leaving us, but I think leaving us, but I think her soul and spirit would live with taught us, and not only us, the entire family and the community, that will last forever and ever, and will make every effort, like Shal said, to continue her legacy.
And she always has a smile, even if she's not feeling well or sick. And last few days in the hospital were really tough for her, tough for everybody. But still, whenever I go, I went, and she always working with a smile.
आया है सो जाएगा, साधु संत फकीर. परिवार कभी भी कोई चाहता है दुख हो, सबका प्यार दिया, सबके साथ उनका समझ, सबका प्यार दिया, सबके साथ उनका समझ वैसे ही रहता था. माँ के बारे में इतना उन्होंने बताया, ऑलरेडी आपने सुना. माँ की 2-3 चीजें मेरे को काफी इम्प्रेस की. फर्स्ट थिंग वाज हर डिटर्मिनेशन, कि जो करना है वो करना है, और नॉट 90 पर 200% एनर्जी लगानी उसके अंदर में. सेकंड चीज है द कॉज इज ए सोशल कॉज. और थर्ड है लव, नॉट जस्ट वन फैमिली बट द होल सोसाइटी, होल कम्युनिटी. सो माँ विल मिस यू. माँ के लिए की बस लाइन आते आती है, जाने वाले कभी नहीं आते, जाने वाले की याद आती है. माँ की याद आती है और आती है.
Mohanka, Sono, how about to come up? Thank you all for joining us today to celebrate the wonderful life of our Imani. You've all heard from our parents what an amazing woman she was, and we want to share with you how we feel as her grandchildren. We stand here together before you because of her. She planted the seed of family in our parents, and they in turn brought that to us. They all had choices in their lives to go to different places, but our parents committed to saying, you know what, we're going to keep the family together, and we're going to settle here in northeastern Ohio to keep all of us close. We are not cousins. We are brothers and sisters, and we have grown up that way and can rely on each other at any time. What we are sharing here represents all of us, and a couple of us also had a couple of other words to add. Nana and Nani picked my name, Lena. My mom used to tell me that Lena meant flower. Turns out that had nothing to do with it. Turns out that she was a female physician in Patna who they highly regarded. They must have known that I was going to be a surgeon someday. Nani was a pillar of strength, wisdom, and grace. She taught us to be strong women and that there are no limits. She believed women should be independent and self-sustaining, and that is how she brought us up. She had strong control of every situation and would guide the outcome without anyone even knowing it was happening. But she did all of it with kindness. She never raised her voice. She spoke such beautiful Hindi, and everything she said sounded like poetry. She spent a lot of time with us growing up. I remember spending a summer in India where she arranged for singing and Kathak lessons for Alka and I. And all of us kids, we spent a summer in Utica with Shyam Nana and Nani, where she taught us to read and write Hindi. She would share stories of her experiences and also tell many stories that had morals. She would always talk about Haldi Baldi and Satwa Sod, and that we should be more like Haldi Baldi. Nani was highly respected by everyone for her wise advice. She allowed us to be vulnerable, but then, you know what she said? You know what she would say to me right now? Rona dhona mein kya fayda? Aage chal. That means, what's the point of crying? Keep moving forward. And then she would help us talk through a path forward from any situation. She was practical and objective, and even helped me recognize my own shortcomings in a kind way. A few facts about Nani. Shalmosi shared with you how she was able to get a higher education. Her degree was in Hindi, but did you know she also was trained in nursing and riflery? She also enjoyed riding bareback on horses. You know why? Because she hated the smell of gasoline from the cars. And so she would race when they would go into town from her house. She'd race the train and often beat them when she was going into town. Maybe that's where Arjun's love of horses comes from. Nani also made the softest rotis and the best kheer. And she loved Kit Kats. She always had them for the kids whenever we came over. She had unconditional love and considered everyone in her community a part of her family. All of us are her children. She lived service above self. We miss her already, but we are her legacy. She shines within us. She lives in all of us, and she was so proud of her family. Nani, we love you and hope that we can carry on the strong values you instilled in us.
How lucky we all are to have been blessed to have Nani for this many years. How many people can stand up here and say, at our ages, that they have so much time with their grandmother and all of her grandchildren, all of her great-grandchildren. She has 13 of us. 11, 13, 12. Sorry, it's been a long few days. 12 of us, and they all knew her. They all got to spend time with her. Nani always showered us with love and words of wisdom. She gave us advice, even when we didn't know that we needed it. For not all of us. We have memories of all sitting on Nani's feet and jumping on her making roti and aloo bhujia for all of us, which was our favorite sabji. She would make muri with lots of karwa tel and roll nimki ka atta, and then all of us would eat fresh nimki with neem ko achar. I'll remember us lying our heads down on her lap as children and her sharing kisses, entertaining us for hours. It wasn't until years later that we would all realize all of these had deeper meanings that she wanted us to carry with us from childhood. From the time when my kids were born, Mummy and I and Armand, we came home from the hospital, Sius was crying and crying, and we couldn't get him quiet. The second he got onto Nani's lap, he just got quiet. And I'm बोला Nani को, Nani तुम क्या किए? मैं बोली अरे बेटा हम ही तुम सबको We all know her accomplishments in society and in the community, but to all of us, she was just Nani, the kind, warm, and loving Nani who always made us look at the positive things, even in the darkest moments. And all of us here should remember that today.
A lot of what I wanted to say has been said in other words, but I'll say a few more. There are 8 of us grandchildren and 12 great-grandchildren. I'm Alka, Sabrina, Abha, Nita Didi, Sonal, and Nidhi. And there are 2 more of us who are here in spirit, Ankur and Parag. And we're all together, like brothers and sisters. So Shobha Musi told you a little bit about Khadi and how significant it was that Nani adopted it. And Nani wore Khadi every day, no matter what the weather, and no matter what the occasion was. Khadi is a hand-spun.
परिवार का कभी भी कोई चाहता है, दुख होता है, और माँ तो मेरे परिवार की माँ नहीं थी, पूरे समाज की माँ थी.
How many people can stand up here and say, at our ages, that they have so much time with their grandchildren?
A lot of what I wanted to say has been said in a occasion was. Khadi is a hand-spun and hand-woven fabric. It could be cotton, it could be silk, but it's made by hand. And during colonial times, Gandhi promoted wearing Khadi to symbolize simplicity and support the local Indian economy. And today, some of us are wearing Nani's Khadi saris as a way to honor her activism and convictions and to say that we'll carry them forward the best of our ability. Nani started her activism in early childhood. As a little girl, when her mother was distributing the food that Shalmosi talked about, Nani's mother actually walked on every street, in every gully in her village every single day. And Nani, when she was 8, accompanied Bari Nani. And so Nani got to watch her mother as she listened to people's needs and their challenges. And then after understanding them, she provided them what they needed, both by moral support, but also with the food packages that she provided. I think these experiences helped shape Nani into the amazing listener and with her never-ending desire to help people. Nani used her words to help and guide people. That was her power. And she had a way with words. We all know that. She was always eloquent and always inspirational. And one thing I admire and think of most is how she saw the positive side of everything. Any time, any place, any situation, she found words to show me the silver lining and a life lesson. Her words, wisdom, and positivity always uplifted me and will stay in my heart forever.
हमें उनके नतनी और नाती होने पर बहुत गर्व है. हमें छोटी सी उम्र से सिखाया गया था कि महिला पुरुष से कोई कम नहीं है. आप सभी जानते हैं कि उनके लिए हिंदी भाषा का बहुत महत्व था, लेकिन अपनी भावनाओं को सटीक रूप में दर्शाने के लिए मैं बाकी बातें अंग्रेजी में करूँगी. We were lucky to see someone from childhood who made such an impact in her lifetime. Even today, we've been getting notes and comments from societies all over the world, bearing our sadness and our memories with us. We are very, very honored and lucky. She not only made a societal impact, but in her day-to-day interactions with family and friends, she made a personal one, as you've heard from many of my cousins. Nani raised 3 very strong women, and she strongly influenced her 3 son-in-laws to support them. We all learn from an early age that women are no less than men, and they deserve equality in society. I like to believe my own job of caring for women with heart disease comes from her influence. She gave us a strong sense of value and community service. Both of our grandparents did that. Moving ahead from today, I hope that we can all, in a way, find a way to honor her legacy and her intent. It was important to her that women have equality in society, and I think that whether we're in India or America, we all agree there's a lot of work to do. I plan to work towards this in my career and personal life, and hopefully we can all take part of her energy and carry it forward. I'm truly overwhelmed with the love and support in this room and the broader community.
So, I'm Sonal, one of Nani's grandsons. So each of us cousins has a special and unique bond with our Naniji. For me, as my mother mentioned, Naniji had come to stay with us for 4 months after I was born, and then took me back to India at 8 months old, and my first birthday was spent with Nani and Nanaji, and it was Nani who first brought me to Kishanganj to meet my Dadi and Dada on that side of my father's family. And that was really the beginning of a special bond that would just continue to grow and get built through my lifetime. I'll just talk about one kind of distinct memory of Nani throughout my childhood and adult life is Nani's love of learning, which never diminished with age. I remember her sitting with me and helping me do the Hindi homework that I always hated to do, that Kiranwasi always assigned. And her calming me down when I got so upset because I wrote something wrong or not perfectly in a straight line. I also remember her scolding me if I ever let my foot touch a book, because books are sacred and it's a privilege to be able to read them. And I think this Naniji and Nanaji in this way really did influence me in my scholarly pursuits. One more recent memory is a few years ago when my wife went to Nani's home for the first time. She wanted to ask Nani how to say several things in Hindi and learn many words, but within a few minutes, Nani was having her translate all those words into Korean and taking meticulous notes that she would keep in a folder. And Nani had just as much interest. Nani, this is one of the biggest ambassadors of Hindi language and Hindi culture, had just as much interest in learning my wife's language and family background as sharing her own. Nani, I promise to always continue to learn and love like you.
I'm Nidhi. So, we've said a lot about how generous and loving Nani was, and also she was such strong faith, but she didn't just wake up one day like this. She worked every day. She practiced every day. She had such a strong practice of self-care, and that's how she was able to give so generously. She had such a strong religious, spiritual practice every day. So Nani, I promise to renew my faith every day, to take every day as a blessing, just like you did.
Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Keshav and Veena Mohanka from Supal. And Keshav is the son of Nani's eldest brother-in-law. They were Motilal Nana.
मैं इस दुख कड़ी में क्या कहूँ? मैं एक्चुअली में बड़ी ताई जी, बड़ी चाची और मेरी बेटी रहती है कैलिफोर्निया में, तो वहाँ 2-3 बार आया तो ताई जी से उनसे मिलने की इच्छा थी, लेकिन नहीं मिल पाया था। तो इस बार ऐसा थोड़ा बन रहा था कि आऊँगा। तो 1 जुलाई को मेरी बेटी की एनिवर्सरी थी। उसके बाद सोचा था कि ताजी से मिलूँगा और आऊँगा। इस बीच में पता चला कि ताई जी बीमार है, हॉस्पिटलाइज हैं। लेकिन ऐसा नहीं सोचा था कि ताई से मिलने की इच्छा है और जाऊंगा और उनके अंत्येष्टि में भाग लेना पड़ेगा। ऐसा सोच के तो नहीं आया था। तो ठीक है, इतना ही मेरा ट्रिब्यूट है कि ताऊ जी ने हमारे मोहनका परिवार के लिए जितना कुछ किया, एजुकेशन के क्षेत्र में, डॉडी रिमूवल के क्षेत्र में, और हमारे परिवार के एक एक बच्चों का ध्यान रखा। ताई जी ने उनके जाने के बाद उस कामों को आगे बढ़ाया और पूरे परिवार को जान के आश्चर्य होगा, कम से कम हर महीने मेरे पास कॉल आता था उनका। मैं नहीं कर पाता था, उनका कॉल जरूर आ जाता था ताई जी का, और आधे घंटे बातचीत होती थी। घर में साल भर से कुछ कम कॉल आने लग गए थे। तो हम लोग आपस में बात करते थे कि कहते थे कि ताई जी का कॉल नहीं आया, और लोगों का चर्चा नहीं होती थी। एक आश्चर्य हमें लगता था कि ताई जी का कॉल नहीं आया। तो मेरे पास नहीं, परिवार के सभी लोगों के पास जाता था। एक एक परिवार के बर्थडे का उन्हें कंग्रेचुलेट करना हो, चाहे एनिवर्सरी का करना हो, और ये चलती फिरती परिवार की इंसाइक्लोपीडिया थी। कुछ पूछना होता था हमें कि हमारे परिवार में के किसी के बारे में, तो इनसे पूछते थे तो ये सारा कुछ बताती थी। और जिस युग में थी और आधुनिकता को जी और अपने संस्कार, कल्चर, हिंदी भाषा के प्रति इनकी जो इनका जो समर्पण था, अब सारी बातें तो आप लोगों ने इससे पहले अनुभव हुई हैं। और बस एक ही बात का मुझे सुकून है कि मैं उनसे जीवित ना मिल सका, लेकिन कम से कम उनके अंत्येष्टि में भाग लेके उनको श्रद्धांजलि व्यक्त करने का मैं अपने को बहुत खुशनसीब समझता हूँ कि इंडिया से आके और इस अवसर पे मैं अपॉर्चुनिटी मुझे मिली। निश्चित रूप से ताई जी का मेरे ऊपर बहुत बड़ा आशीर्वाद था। थैंक्स।
Next, we would like to invite Neeraj and Nina Mohanka, and they will also represent Shyam Nana and Uma Nani, who Shyam Nana is Nani's brother-in-law.
So my name is Neeraj Mohanka, and so my father, Shah Mohanka, gave me a few words to read on his behalf. So this first portion is to my Taiji, his Bhavi. Dear Bhavi, after death of my mother in 1940, I was only 4 years old. I felt totally abandoned until you came into my life in 1947. You gave me your unconditional love and affection. Although I was not living with you, I always felt you were close to me and I had your blessings. Then he gave me this message for my Kiran Didi, Shail Didi, and Shobha Didi. Dear Kiran, Shail, and Shobha, my thoughts and prayers are with you. I have put together my feelings briefly for the three of you. During the period February 1947 through March 1965, Bhabhi was always there to help me figure things out, listen to me when I was upset, and cheer me up. I really miss her. She was a beloved community member. Kiran, Shail, and Shobha, please remember, you three will always be in my thoughts and prayers. Although I could not attend the memorial service of my dearest Bhabhi, her life was an inspiration for me, and she will never be forgotten. And this reminds me of a few famous inspirational quotes, so he put together a few quotes here. How can the dead be truly dead when they still live in the souls of those who are left behind? If the people we love are stolen from us, the way to have them live on is to never stop loving them. The best portion of a good person's life is her little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love. Next, this is a poem called If Tears Could Build a Stairway. If tears could build a stairway and memories a lane, I would walk right up to heaven and bring you back again. No farewell words were spoken, no time to say goodbye. In the middle of night, you moved to heaven and left us all behind. You were gone before we knew it, and only God knows why. My heart still aches with sadness, and secret tears still flow. What it meant to love Bhabhi, no one can ever know. But now I know you want me to mourn for you no more, to remember all the happy times. Life still has so much in store. Bhabhi, you will never be forgotten. I pray to God for peace to her soul. Please remember, Kiran, Shail, and Shobha, you three will always be in my thoughts and prayers. Sham Chacha.
And माँ ने लिखा किरण, Shail, and Shobha ji. When I came after marriage in 1960, I was just a teenager. I started calling her mom. Today I feel I don't have my mom anymore. But in my heart, she will always be my mom until I die. Uma.
Next, I'm going to ask Neeta Masi and Surendra Masa to come. Neeta Masi is her niece, also Shyam Nana's daughter, and also was essentially a goddaughter to Nani.
Daiji Pranam. You were a guiding light in our family. When you married into our family, you became a mother figure for my father. You were the person that facilitated my parents' marriage. When my parents immigrated to London, you took care of me for a year. You and Daoji also arranged my marriage to Suren and took care of all wedding arrangements. At every milestone in our lives, you stepped up to give us your guidance and help. My life is an example of what you have done for many in this room and for thousands in this world. We are so very grateful, and we will miss you dearly.
Now I would like to invite Vishwanana, Chandralani, and their daughter Rumi and her husband Naveen to come say a few words. So Viswanatha is another brother-in-law of Nani.
भाभी जी की सबसे छोटी देवरानी, बोलने को वो मेरी जेठानी थी, लेकिन वो मेरी माँ से भी बड़ी थी। 16.5 साल की उम्र में वो शादी करके, मेरी शादी करके अपनी बहू बना के अपने घर में लाई, और तब से वो मेरा हर पग पर मार्ग प्रदर्शन करते रही। घर में लाने के बाद में परिवार के हर सदस्य से मेरा परिचय करवाना, रिश्तों को कैसे निभाया जाता है, रिश्तों को नाम देना, रिश्तों को आदर करना, हर जगह वो मेरी आगे में पथ प्रदर्शक बन के खड़ी रही। मैं हमेशा उनके पीछे ही रहती थी और इतनी सुरक्षित फील करती थी अपने को, लगता था कि मुझे कोई कष्ट ही नहीं है, सारे कष्ट मेरी भाभी हर लेंगी। उन्होंने शादी के बाद मेरा नामकरण किया, मेरा नाम चंद्रकला। उन्होंने मुझे चंद्रा पुकारना शुरू किया। जब मेरे भैया भाभी जब मुझे देखने गए तो सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन मेरे परिवार वालों से था उनका कि आपने इसका नाम कॉलेज में लिखाया कि नहीं। उन लोगों ने कहा कि नहीं, हमारे घर में लड़कियों को हायर एजुकेशन देना नहीं होता है। तो पहले मेरे भाभी भैया ने कहा कि पहले आप इसका नाम कॉलेज में लिखाइए, तब हम शादी की बात करेंगे। आप लोगों ने कैसे सोच लिया कि लड़कियों को नहीं पढ़ाया जा सकता है। और उस समय में जो मेरे भाई भौजाई जो दम तैयार नहीं थे आगे पढ़ाने के लिए, मैंने सिर्फ स्कूल एजुकेशन पास किया था, तुरंत जाकर एडमिशन करवाया। तब वो मेरे भैया भाभी ने तैयार हुए शादी के लिए, और तब मैं शादी करके इस घर में आई। कभी बीमार पड़ती भाभी जी रात भर मेरे साथ में रहती, मेरे बगल में बैठी रहती, मेरी सेवा करती कि चंद्रा जल्दी से ठीक हो जाओ तुम। मैं अपना कुछ बोल नहीं सकती हूँ उनके लिए कि मैं कितनी आभारी हूँ अपने भैया भाभी की, अपने जेठ जेठानी की। इस घर में आज जो भी कुछ मैं बनी, जो भी कुछ पढ़ाई किया, जो भी आगे बढ़ी, सिर्फ उनके इंस्पिरेशन से, उनके हेल्प से, उनके मार्ग प्रदर्शन से ही मैं आगे बढ़ पाई हूँ। हमेशा कोशिश करती कि मैं अपनी भाभी जी को कॉपी करूँ, उनकी लगन, उनकी कर्तव्य निष्ठा, सब चीज देखकर मुझे लगता था कि मैं उनको कॉपी करूं, मैं भी वैसी ही बनूं, मैं भी उतनी लगन से हर काम को करूं, लेकिन मैं नहीं कर पाती। कभी कभी उनको देखकर उनको जलन होती थी कि मैं क्यों नहीं कर पाती हूँ कॉपी, क्या है इनके में ऐसा कि वो इतनी मेहनत कर सकती हैं, इतनी लगन से हर कार्य को करती हैं, हर जगह वो हंसते रहती हैं, हर लोगों को साथ लेकर चलती है, मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकती हूँ। कभी कभी अपने पर गुस्सा भी आता है कि मैं इतनी क्यों कमजोर बन जाती हूँ। मैं नहीं जानती हूँ कि क्या था उनके में, क्योंकि मैंने उनके साथ पूरी जिंदगी बिताई है। वो जब अमेरिका चली आई उस समय में मैं खाली वहाँ अकेले रह गई थी, लेकिन फिर भी उनका साथ हमेशा था, हमेशा फोन से बातें होती रहती थी। अभी भी डेथ होने के 2 दिन पहले सुबह जी ने मुझे वीडियो से बात करवाया हॉस्पिटल से। बोले चंद्रा 2 दिन रह गया तुम्हारे आने में, सिर्फ तुम शुक्रवार को आ रही हो, आओ तुम्हारे एक दिन गिन रहे हैं, हमको भेंट करना है बेटा तुमसे। सॉरी, मेरे भाग्य में नहीं लिखा था। I love you भाभी जी, I love you।
काफ़ी कुछ सब लोग बोल चुके हैं। मम्मी ने भी जस्ट बोला, मैं ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं बोलूँगी, बस आज सुबह जब हम लोग तैयार हो रहे थे तो बस एक ही बात दिमाग में आ रही थी। मुझे ताई जी की साड़ी हमेशा से बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद थी। हमेशा देखती थी, बोलती थी ताई जी की साड़ी इतनी सुंदर क्यों होती है हमेशा। तो बस मन में आज बात आई कि जब मुझे इतनी अच्छी लगती थी तो कभी पहले क्यों नहीं ट्राई किया पहनने का। उनके सामने पहनती तो कितनी खुश होती। पर आज पहनने का एटलीस्ट मौका मिला। इतनी सारी मीठी यादें हैं ताई जी के साथ। कहाँ से शुरू करूँ और कहाँ से ख़त्म करूँ। मेरी पहली हिंदी अध्यापक थी ताई जी। मैं रविवार को जाती थी उनसे हिंदी पढ़ने और मेरे को इसलिए अच्छा लगता था जाना क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि ताई जी मेरी फेवरेट पोहा बना के मेरे रखेंगी। और फिर खूब सारी बातें, खूब सारी कहानियाँ सुनाएंगी। मुझे कहानी सुनने का बहुत शौक था। ताऊ जी ताई जी का घर, पूरे दिन हम लोग खेलते रहते थे वहाँ पे। मुझे अभी तक हर कमरा, हर खिड़की, हर गलियारा याद है। कुछ नहीं भूली। ताई जी का सुबह फल का बनाना, उसके साथ कद्दू की सब्जी और दही खाना कभी नहीं भूल सकती। मैं उनके पीछे पीछे घूमती रहती थी, उनके साथ भंडारा में घूमती थी और लगता था कि मैं भी जब बड़ी हुई तो ताई जी की तरह काम करूँगी। पर इतना पता नहीं था कि बहुत मुश्किल है। यूएस आने के बाद भी लगा जैसे वो हमेशा हम लोगों के पास थी। जब मेरा ग्रेजुएशन सेरेमनी हुआ तो उसमें भी आई थी बॉस्टन। जब हमारा पहला घर बन रहा था, जब प्लॉट खरीदे तो भी आई थी देखने। पूरा एक एक चीज़ डिटेल में जानना चाह रही थी, कहाँ पे कमरा होगा, कहाँ पे क्या होगा, सब कुछ। किसी को नहीं पता था, पर ताऊ जी ताई जी को सब पता था। मैं जब गाना गाती थी या डांस करती थी तो बहुत खुश होती थी। और अभी हाल में अनूप की जब शादी में हम लोग अंतराक्षरी में गाना वगैरह गा रहे थे तो मुझे आके बोली, रूमी तुम्हारी बचपन की याद आ गई फिर से। ताई जी आपको मेरा प्रणाम।
शादी के बाद मैं पहली बार जब उनसे मिला तो एक अजीब सा शुरू से ही एक कनेक्शन बन गया था। हमारा कनेक्शन जरा डिफरेंट था इन द सेंस इट वाज मोर स्पिरिचुअल। सो वी विल टॉक एंड हम लोग एक दूसरे की बातें समझ जाते थे। मैं परेशान होता था तो मुझे बोलती थी ध्यावस रखा सब ठीक हो जाए। तो वो उनकी बात कभी मैं भूल नहीं पाता हूँ। तो वो कनेक्शन, मेरे सिर्फ एक ही बात कहना है जो उनकी बात मुझे हमेशा अच्छी लगती है, जो मैं उनको देखता रहता हूँ, इंस्पायर करता रहता हूँ कि जिस तरह से उन्होंने परिवार को बांध के रखा, जिस तरीके से वो हम लोगों सबने वो बात कही है। और इसका मतलब मेरे लिए सिर्फ वहीं पर खत्म नहीं होती है, क्योंकि मेरी जो दीदियां हैं, मेरी तीनों दीदियां जो हैं वो वैसी ही हैं, उनकी ही छवि है, उनके अंदर वही गुण है। और वो हम लोग सब कंटिन्यू करेंगे, हम लोग सब उससे इंस्पिरेशन लेंगे और सब अपने अपने परिवार को उस तरह से उसी तरह से बांध के रखेंगे। क्योंकि वो जो है वो एक कितनी बड़ी ताकत होती है वो हम सबको पता है। बस अब याद करके उस अगर उनको श्रद्धांजलि देनी है तो सब लोग यही करें, सब लोग अपने परिवार पर ध्यान दें और अपने परिवार को साथ लेके चलें।
Next, I'll ask Anu Masi and Ravi Masa to come up to the stage. She's the daughter and son-in-law of Nani's late sister, Manju Nani.
I would like to say a few words for my Badi Mausi ji. Today, as we gather to bid farewell to my beloved Badi Mausi ji, we celebrate a life that was truly remarkable. She was the eldest in 7 siblings, 6 sisters and 1 brother, and my mother was the youngest. Badi Mausi ji was not just like a sister, but a pillar of the family. If it was not for her, her other siblings would not have learned to be the leaders of the community as they were all their lives. It was through Mausiji's influence that every one of her siblings, including my own mother, became actively involved in serving the community at a very large scale. As I was growing up, accompanying my mother in Marwari Mahila Sammelans, along with my Masis, led by Badi Masiji, are amongst my favorite memories. I could not become a leader like Masiji. However, when I saw her engage with others, I learned how to effectively listen patiently and respond effectively. I learned the value of hard work and complete dedication. आज बड़ी मौसी जी के चरणों में सादर प्रणाम और भावभीनी श्रद्धांजलि। आप हमेशा हम लोगों के साथ रहेंगी मौसी जी।
Next, I'd like to invite Sudha Kanodia and her sons, Anup and Amit, my cousins. And she is the daughter-in-law of Nani's sister-in-law.
Pranam Mami ji, for me you are still living in my heart and you always will. In Mami ji in Hindi means double mom, means mom and mom. I always respect you from bottom of my heart. When I was 16 years old, she came to my mom's and dad's place. That's the time she was ready to commit me as her daughter-in-law. I didn't have no idea. My husband was very, very fond of her. Kirandi, Pavanji, they brought him here when he was 22 years old. He said, I'm not ready to get married. When he was 25 years old, Mamiji, Mamaji called him in India, and I didn't have no idea. They called my mom and dad, bring Sudha to Patna. And then they engaged. In 1 week, we got married. Mamiji, Mamaji knew that we meant for each other. We didn't talk. I didn't have no idea what kind of husband he is, but Mamiji, Mamaji knew. Ask Saldi, Sobhadi, Kirandi all know about this. I was so surprised. Mamaji he always said, he's my son. And I can only tell you, Mamiji, on 25th when I went to see her, Saldi was standing and she is in ICU and she's saying, Sal, Sudha ko khana do. हम बोले मामी जी हम मोटे ताजे हम खा के आए हैं नहीं खाना बांध दो on 25th ICU. She has so much love for me always. My mama ji died, passed away after 2 weeks later. Mami ji, my husband passed away. She was always there for me, always. She knew how bad I'm feeling. She always called me. If I didn't call her, she will call me. A Friday, she was in the hospital. Friday mornings I used to call when I was going to work. Then I called her, Mami ji, I did not know I should call you or not. She said, Beta, I'm so thankful that you called. Then she said, Beta, please come. I really want you to come. Please promise me. Well, okay, Mami ji, I will come. Then I didn't even know that Sobhadi was there. I called her in the evening, 7 o'clock. Well, Sobhadi, can I do anything? She said, my mom asked you one thing. You have to do that. And I'm so glad that me and Kirandi talked. Kirandi said, Bhabiji, I am going today. You go tomorrow. It was the hardest Saturday for me to pass. I went Sunday morning. She was so happy, so happy. Then what happened? She was still in ICU. I find out that she's not doing good on Tuesday. She knew she had all the senses. When she was even sick. I went Tuesday afternoon, 1 o'clock with Pavanji. She says, Sudha, आज तो Wednesday नहीं है, आज तुम कैसे आ गई यहाँ पर? बोले मामी जी, I couldn't stop myself. My love brought to see you. She said, बेटा, she put her hand like this, बेटा, मेरे हाथ में सबके लिए प्यार है, प्यार है, प्यार है. Then I said, she brought us into this family, Mami ji. I told Mami ji and Mama ji, I will never ever put you down. I promise you. My main goal are, Mami ji main goal were love, family and blessing to all. All my life I saw her, how much she gave us their love. We and I am so fortunate to receive your unconditional love. I will strive to continue your high standard of family, value, love and blessing to all. Thank you for attending Anup and Rupal wedding and giving us all the new bride and groom your आशीर्वाद, your blessing. What she told me on Tuesday, बेटा बहुत शौक था अनूप की शादी का. मैंने उसको, I saw her, but I just wants to have 10-minute blessing for Sal and Tanu. This was her last word that she told me. She said, Parivar, Parivar, Parivar. That means family, family, family. That was her main goal. She kept family all together. We always need your blessing, Mami ji. Every minute. Thank you, and thank you. Pranam and pranam again and again. You are always in my heart. And I cannot thank you what you teach me all my life. Thank you, Mami ji.
As you all know, Nani was very active in the Marwadi Sammelan. I'd ask Vaibhav Agarwal, our past president of the Marwadi Association, if he can please come and say a few words.
नमस्ते एवरीवन. मेरा नाम विभाव अग्रवाला है और भावना जगतिया जी हैं जो 2023 के लिए मारवाड़ी एसोसिएशन के प्रेसिडेंट हैं. मैं 2022 का प्रेसिडेंट था. तो हमने मिल करके कुछ साझा वर्ड्स लिखे हैं दादी जी के लिए. तो ABMMS परिवार की ओर से हम पूज्य दादी जी को भावभीनी श्रद्धांजलि एवं विदाई देने हेतु कुछ शब्द लिए खड़े हुए हैं. मारवाड़ी समाज अगर आज हम सब को अपनी संस्कृति एवं संस्कारों से जोड़ने के केंद्र के रूप में उभरा है, तो उसके पीछे उनकी विहंगम दूरदृष्टि, उनका अटूट विश्वास तथा अभूतपूर्व परिश्रम रहा. उन्होंने हम सबको संस्था के सदस्य से कहीं ज्यादा विस्तृत परिवार के रूप में देखा, सराहा और सशक्त किया. हम सब खुद को बहुत भाग्यशाली मानते हैं जो हमें दादी जी जैसे विराट व्यक्तित्व का स्नेह, सामीप्य एवं मार्गदर्शन प्राप्त हुआ. उनकी प्रेरणा, उनसे मिला धैर्य, सेवा भाव, उसकी मजबूत नींव पर ABMMS को विस्तृत तथा संस्थागत करने का हम आगे प्रयास तत्पर करते रहेंगे. विधि का ऐसा विधान रहा कि 2022 के ABMMS की कार्यकारिणी समिति को उन्हें लाइफ टाइम अचीवमेंट अवार्ड से सम्मानित करने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ और 2023 की बैठक के चंद दिन पहले ही वे हमारे बीच भौतिक रूप में नहीं रहीं, किंतु हम आश्वस्त हैं कि उनका आशीर्वाद और उनका संरक्षण सदा हमारे साथ है. इतनी विविध, विशाल और विलक्षण उपलब्धियों के बावजूद वे मारवाड़ी एसोसिएशन को अपनी सर्वप्रिय धरोहरों में से एक मानती थीं। ऐसा संयोग रहा कि उनके दिवंगत होने के 2 दिन पहले हमें उन्हें आईसीयू में मिलने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ। अत्यंत पीड़ा एवं असहजता के बावजूद उनकी वाणी में इतना प्रेम, वात्सल्य और दृढ़ता का उमड़ाव हमें विभोर कर गया। उनके विचारों की स्पष्टता से हम काफी अचंभित थे। उनके सारे विचार आगामी मारवाड़ी पिकनिक की व्यवस्थायिक बारीकियों पर केंद्रित थे। एक एक छोटी छोटी बात वो हमको याद दिला रही थी कि इस चीज का ध्यान रखना, ऐसे हिसाब कर लेना। ये उनके 2 दिन पहले। इस गौरवपूर्ण विरासत के धनी हम सब एमयूएच परिवार एवं समिति सदस्यगण उनके पंच तत्व को अनंत में विलीन करने जुड़े हैं और परमात्मा से उनकी अंतरात्मा को शांति प्रदान करने की प्रार्थना के साथ अपनी वाणी को विराम देते हैं।
Thank you. Marwari Sammelan, obviously, you've heard today, is very near and dear to Nani's heart. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Tej Parekh to represent the International Hindi Association to say a few words.
नमस्ते। मुझे यहाँ पे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हिंदी समिति के एक सदस्य के रूप में जो माँ का आशीर्वाद पूरे क्लिवलैंड शहर को मिला और मैं कहूँगा कि पूरे अमेरिका को मिला, उसकी दृष्टि से मैं यहाँ पर कुछ शब्द कहूँ, ऐसी बात कही गई है। मैं सोच रहा था कल से जब मेरे को कहा गया कि यहाँ पे मैं कुछ बात कहूँ कि एक 9 दशक का एक ऐसा कार्यकाल जो किसी एक व्यक्ति ने, और मैं कहूँ कि एक ऐसे विलक्षण व्यक्तित्व ने इस प्रकार से जिया कि जिसको हम दुख के रूप में मनाएं या हम उत्सव के रूप में मनाएं, तो मुझे बार बार सोचने पर लगता है कि यह उत्सव का समय है। क्योंकि माँ ने जो पारी इन 9 दशकों में खेली है वो किसी सामान्य व्यक्तित्व के लिए संभव नहीं है। आप सोचिए कि 1933 का समय वो समय था जब बांस को चाकू की नोक से काट कर तूलिका बनाई जाती थी और स्याही की दवात के अंदर डुबोकर लिखा जाता था, और वहां से लेकर कंप्यूटर के माउस के अंदर उससे चलाकर और सब कुछ उसके अंदर महारत हासिल करना, ये कोई विलक्षण व्यक्तित्व ही कर सकता है। और मेरा छोटा सा अनुभव जो उनके साथ में रहने का हुआ, वो उनके एक व्यक्तित्व की एक विशेष पहचान थी कि वो समाज को संगठित इस रूप में करती थी कि हर व्यक्ति को वो श्रेष्ठ से श्रेष्ठतम बनाने का प्रयास करती थी। जो व्यक्ति हिंदी नहीं बोल सकता है उसको हिंदी बोलनी चाहिए, जो हिंदी बोल सकता है उसको हिंदी लिखनी चाहिए, जो हिंदी लिख सकता है उसको लेख लिखने चाहिए, और जो सब कुछ लिख सकता है उसको कविता कहनी चाहिए, और जो सब कुछ कह सकता है वो अपनी किताबें छापे। तो उन्होंने हर व्यक्ति के अंदर उसके गुण को पहचाना और उसके गुण को पहचान कर श्रेष्ठ से श्रेष्ठतम बनाने का प्रयास किया। तो मैं नानी माँ के लिए मैं यदि कहूँगा, और मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि आप सिर्फ 8 पौत्र पौत्री और 12 पौत्र पड़पौत्रियां और 3 पुत्रियों ने ही अपनी माँ को नहीं खोया है। आज पूरे क्लिवलैंड और पूरे अमेरिका ने उस माँ को खोया है जिसकी गोद में बैठकर खादी की गंध आती थी, जिसकी गोद के अंदर पास में जब वो गले लगाती थी तो भारत माँ के संस्कारों की खुशबू आती थी। तो आज हम सब ने एक ऐसे व्यक्तित्व को खो दिया है जिसका पुनर्जीवित होना और उसकी पुनरावृत्ति करना असंभव है। तो उस शोक के साथ हम लोग अवश्य जिएंगे, परंतु कहते हैं कि जब किसी जंगल से कोई एक बरगद का पेड़ जाता है तो वो कई दशकों तक रहने के बाद उस जंगल को इतना समर्थ बना देता है कि उस पर घोंसले बनाने वाले पंछी जब उड़ते हैं तो उनके अंदर ताकत होती है अपनी नई उड़ान भरने की। और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि माँ ने जिस प्रकार से हिंदी समिति के परिवार को सींचा है, ये पंछी नई उड़ान भरेंगे। माँ हमेशा कहती थी कि और मुझे एक जज्बा उनका हमेशा लगता है क्योंकि वो एक ऐसे परिवार के अंदर पली जहां पर आजादी के आंदोलन को लेकर उनके पिताजी ने संघर्ष किया, और उसके बाद के अंदर जब वो बिहार से लेकर 90 के दशक में जब अमेरिका आई तब भी उनके अंदर एक श्रेष्ठ से श्रेष्ठतम समाज को बनाने की एक जो कल्पना थी, उनको हमेशा लगा कि यदि यह समाज अपनी भाषा को भूल गया तो यह भारत से कट जाएगा। और उन्होंने भाषा को उसका सूत्र बनाया और उन्होंने ये कोशिश करी कि भाषा किस प्रकार से समाज में जिंदा रहे, जिससे ये सभी भारतीय जो इस अमेरिका में रह रहे हैं ये कभी भी अपने संस्कारों को ना छोड़ें, अपनी संस्कृति को ना छोड़ें। और वो हमेशा कहती थी कि उनका एक प्रयास था, जैसे कि वो 1933 के अंदर शायद आजादी का आंदोलन उनके पिताजी ने लड़ा होगा, उन्हें लगता था कि हिंदी भाषा को किस प्रकार से अमेरिका में द्वितीय भाषा का दर्जा मिले, और वो लगातार उसके लिए संघर्ष करती रही। कई वर्षों तक यहाँ पर हिंदी के विद्यालय चले, यहाँ पे हमारे छोटे छोटे बच्चों को हिंदी से वो जोड़ती रही। और जब भी कोई उनकी गोद में जाता था तो हमेशा सिर्फ वात्सल्य और नैसर्गिक प्रेम को ही प्राप्त करता था, इसके अलावा उनके पास देने को कुछ भी नहीं था। और कहने को बहुत कुछ बातें हैं, परंतु समय की सीमा को देखते हुए मैं इतना ही कहूंगा कि मुझे लगता है कि माँ के लिए सबसे बड़ी श्रद्धांजलि ये होगी कि हम आज के दिन को इस रूप में मनाएं कि हम कभी अपने भारतीय संस्कारों, हमारी संस्कृति को ना भूलें। हम कोशिश करें कि हमारी भाषा ना सिर्फ हमारे साथ जिंदा रहे, अपितु हमारी आने वाली पीढ़ियों के अंदर भी इसका संचार होता रहे। और इस बार का स्वतंत्रता दिवस अमेरिका का इस बार में याद किया जाए कि आज जब गुरु पूर्णिमा का चांद अपने पूरे यौवन के ऊपर इस आकाश के अंदर छा रहा होगा, तो माँ के देहावसान के बाद एक तारा उस चंद्रमा के ऊपर इस प्रकार निखरेगा जो ये बताएगा कि क्लीवलैंड के अंदर एक ऐसा व्यक्तित्व आया जो भारत की सौंधी खुशबू को इस शहर के अंदर लेकर आया और सबके अंदर उसको रचाया बसाया। तो मैं माँ को श्रद्धांजलि गीता के एक श्लोक से करता हूँ, जिसको आनंद जी ने अपने भाव के अंदर भी कहा, और हम सभी लोग एक ओम का उच्चार माँ के श्रद्धांजलि के रूप में उसके बाद में करेंगे। वांसांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णा नन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि नन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि। एक बार हम सभी लोग ओम का उच्चार एक साथ करेंगे। 1 2 1 2 मुझे एक और आदेश है कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हिंदी समिति की जो वर्तमान अध्यक्षा हैं श्रीमती अनीता सिंघल, मैं उनके संदेश को यहाँ पर पढ़ूं, तो मैं वो संदेश पढ़ता हूँ। सादा जीवन उच्च विचार, सरल हृदय, मृदुभाषी एवं सच्ची समाज सेविका श्रीमती सुशीला मोहनका जी के व्यक्तित्व को कौन नहीं जानता। वर्णन करने के लिए शब्दों की कमी है। उनके स्वर्गवास की सूचना से अखिल भारतीय हिंदी समिति में सभी स्तब्ध एवं विक्षिप्त हैं। यह विश्व कल्याण तथा विशेषकर महिला समाज के लिए एक उदाहरण थी। निस्वार्थ भाव से हर कार्य को सुचारू रूप और कर्मठता से करती थी तथा औरों से सहजता से काम करवाने की क्षमता भी रखती थी। हिंदी के विकास, प्रचार एवं प्रसार के लिए सदैव तत्पर रहती थी और हम सबको समय समय पर मार्गदर्शन के साथ साथ आगे बढ़ने के लिए प्रेरित भी करती थी। दुर्भाग्यवश अब उनका शारीरिक सानिध्य हम लोगों को नहीं मिलेगा, लेकिन उनकी सिखाई हुई बहुमूल्य बातों से वह सदैव हम लोगों के बीच जीवित रहेंगी। ईश्वर से हम सब दिवंगत आत्मा की शांति की प्रार्थना करते हैं तथा समस्त हिंदी जगत को धैर्य के साथ यह कष्ट सहने का साहस और शक्ति दे, यही शुभकामना है। उनके चरणों में सुमन युक्त श्रद्धांजलि। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
Thank you, Tej. Also, it's interesting, my daughter, when she hugged me earlier today, she said, "You smell like Buddy Nani." So I think that some of that resonates. I know in the interest of time we're going to be brief, but Nani was very, very proud of her son-in-law and daughter-in-laws. So I would like to invite Devin Ackerman, Armando Strati, Sachin Shinolikar, Nuri Kim, and Arun Sivashankaran here, and just I think one or two of them are going to briefly say a few things.
I think as someone who married into the family, and I reflect back on my experiences and my interactions with Nani over the years, I was really struck by not only how welcoming and loving she was when I came into the family, but also, really amazed by the strength of her conviction and character. And that's not something that just happens. It's a testament to and a product of living those values over a lifetime. And I feel very fortunate that I had that experience and had those experiences over the years with her. But also amazed that those qualities extend out to the entire family and community and everyone that she's touched. And I think I'm heartened by, and I think we should all be heartened by the fact that the great-grandchildren here and those future generations are going to have and represent those same qualities that we saw in Nani. Those future generations are...
Let's start with the puja now, but we would have liked to invite everybody to go to the front and have some prasad, especially if you're not going to stay for the puja. And if anybody wanted to still come up and pay their respects to Nani, please come forward now. Thank you.